No corny jokes today. This morning I'm recording it's a little after 4:30 in the morning on a Sunday. After two horrendous-ish days. At this point. So, like I said before, I try to just make this about like the hobbies I care about or things. I don't want this to be anything political or decisive. I do want to not hit the microphone as I just did right now. I don't know if that got recorded. But it's one of those, like, it's like the pink elephant in the room. You just gotta. There's no way you could avoid it, and I'm kind of at that point right now. I even just try to do a stream on Twitch for a video game, and it just was not working out too well, to say the least. Just out of it. As I stand here with my one dog, Rocky, my little guy, by my side. We're having a rough few days. I called him my firstborn. I called him my spotted prince. I probably have like a dozen other names. One of my favorites, the goodest boy in the whole world. My first dog that I had, Cody. He was a Dalmatian Great Dane mix, and everyone says they have the greatest dog in the world, and they're right. They're right. They do. Everyone does. But Cody, succumbed to bone cancer that he had. And it's amazing, man. He went into the doctor because he had a slight limp in his back leg. Barely noticeable. Like, I had trouble. It had to be pointed out to me. And it turned out, what we thought was like, he might have just tore a ligament, because great dog, he had no brakes. When he ran something, he always had trouble stopping. So he always had these awkward stops. So I honestly thought he might have tore something at his age. Turned out he had bone chips. And when you saw in the x-ray, you can see like the cancer leaking out. Before it happened, I was like, you know what? I'm going to get like 2 quality years out of him. And it's something that would have been like, and I say that thinking like, oh, that's fair for me, fair for him. That would just be amazing. And then so quickly, over a few months, it became, well, his birthday's in February. Oh, we'll have a good go. He's doing good on the medicine. And my birthday's, just a few weeks away. Not even. I'm like, oh, he'll get to my birthday. No problem. And the guy couldn't do that. And, but the one thing he could do, he did 2 things very well, actually. For a dog, he had the greatest facial impressions in the world. You can tell when he was sad, happy, goofy, funny, happy, scared. He was very much, I joked around like silent film era actors and everything like that. Like, the facial expressions were over the top because they couldn't talk to you. And that was him. And he was great reading people. When my grandmother passed away, he knew how to comfort my mother. Whenever I had my time and everything like that, my issues, he knew how to console me, or just kind of like come near me and plop down. The only thing he was terrible at was going on walks. Big dog, he would pull like crazy, and like most dogs, he doesn't like the mailman. But I'm not. I won't hold that against him. And I went to work Friday morning. He was in rough shape. Like, from Wednesday night to Friday morning, just like he fell off a cliff, and he was in rough shape. He looked, I was telling people when I went to work, he looked like a real fat guy who just finished a marathon. Breathing heavy, exhausted. Wouldn't eat his medicine that day. My mom was watching him. I got back to the house. Let's say I left the house at like 6, 7 in the morning. I got back maybe at 2, 1-ish, I don't know. And, he looked like a cancer patient. Just glassy-eyed, like a drunken bender. And, wasn't in good condition. And, we packed in the car, tried to drive to the vet, and he couldn't even make it to the vet. Just right in my mom's arms in the back seat. We were a block and a half away from the vet, and he couldn't hold on. And I'm not expecting to fill the void. It can't. Right now, if anything, I'm trying to pay attention to my other dog, Rocky, my little guy, because they had some separation anxiety between those two. If they went a period of time without seeing each other and then they saw each other, hell, even if you took the one dog for a walk instead of the other, when they got back into the house, you'd think it was like the 4th of July or the ball just dropped in Times Square. So, I'm worried about him, trying to keep him active, trying to get my fat butt active as well, going on a few extra walks, tired him out like crazy yesterday. Sleeping on the couch with him still. I was sleeping on the couch to help Cody because he was waking me up in the middle of the night with his meds, and I don't know. I just don't want to break another routine for him off the bat, so I'm just doing that. But, 1 minute I'm fine. The other minute I'm bawling like a baby. There's sometimes I forget, like, he's just not, like, in the other room. If I'm in the living room, it's so easy for me to think that he's in the kitchen. There was one time I heard, there was a gust of wind outside, and I heard, I don't know, like some branches, or I don't know if it was branches or an animal kind of like running up a fence or something, but it sounded like toenails on the floor. And it just sounded like Cody's toenails, just prancing around. And, oh man, this just sucks. It's rough. It's not fun. Not enjoying it. And, being broke doesn't help either. But, so it's not like I can do things to keep me busy. But, I'm trying my best. But luckily work is coming my way, so that's gonna occupy my time a whole lot more. Rocky's not getting settled in right next to me. He keeps moving around. So yeah, this is the first time going through this experience. I don't think I can get another dog because, man, this is painful. This just sucks. And there's really just nothing you can do about it, I guess. Trying to figure it out for myself at the moment. And all I know is my face hurts from crying. So hopefully that there's an end to that pretty soon. And yeah, listen, there's no point to this. There's nothing to showcase. I'm not looking for sympathy or anything like that. But it's one of those things where if I didn't do it, it almost feels awkward. It feels like a lie. And yeah, I just kind of want to get it out there. He was even talking about him in past tense just feels unbelievable. The only reason I'm even going to leave the house later so I can see my brother, but mostly for his kids. I don't want to see him. I just want to see his three little babies, and his youngest one just kind of play with all afternoon. I think that'll do the trick, for sure. And if the kids want ice cream, well, my fat butt's going to enjoy it too. So yeah, no point, no other need other than just to kind of highlight how great of a boy. I guess, you know what? I lied. If there is one point, is to let everyone know that Cody was the goodest boy. He truly is an angel. And, anyone that interacted with him, everyone always enjoyed him. Oh, one other thing I do want to share. The one thing I always joked around is that, whenever he loves sticking his head out the window for a car ride, like most dogs. But, with the Dalmatian aspect, his spots all over. He had two big black spots over his eyes and everything. I always joked around like, when you see kids realize there's a Dalmatian, they pop and they freak out in the other car. It doesn't matter if it's grumpy old person, someone who's just having a bad day, someone, it doesn't matter. He just always made strangers happy. And anyone that did get a chance to luckily know him knew what a great dog he truly was. And that makes my heart happy. So there you go. Kind of glad I got this out of the way now. And yeah, no. Actually makes me feel a lot better. Not good enough to go back to sleep, but it makes me happier, at least in the interim. So that's why there's been no podcast. There's been no new anything going out. It's just been a rough few days.